Hi there, Elise Dewsberry here from New Musicals Inc. with the 47th installment of my video blog, How to Get No Feedback from Elise. Today I want to talk briefly about the nearly lost art of the introductory verse. Back in the days of Tin Pan Alley songs, when the songs that were in the hit shows on Broadway, the hit musicals, were also the ones that were the hits on the radio, and everybody would rush out to buy the sheet music and go home and play it on their piano at home. It was very common in those days, no matter what the structure of the song itself was. Often it would be an AABA song structure. It might be a verse, chorus, song structure. It might be, an ABAB, many different ways that the structure of the song could be. But often it was very popular to begin the song with what was called an introductory verse. That was often 4 lines or 8 lines, probably most often either 4 or 8 lines, could be shorter, could be longer, that did not, usually didn't repeat. Occasionally, if you had a really long song, you might have another instance of the introductory verse later that's the same music, but often it would be just at the very beginning of the song, and that particular musical structure, the rhyme scheme, the melody would not appear again. It often tended to be a little more talky, a little bit more like opera's recitative than the tune itself. When the tune actually kicks in, it would have a little bit less rhythmic groove under it. The purpose for it was twofold. It helped transition from dialogue into music, so it didn't seem quite so abrupt that someone who was talking one moment was singing a song the next moment. It would act as a bit of a buffer. But it also was an opportunity to set up the lyric and contextualize it in a way that can be very interesting. Now, I don't by any means think that it's a requirement for a song to have an introductory verse, but I think it's certainly worth looking at how an introductory verse can do those things for you and to consider using it. Often with the popular songs of that day, we no longer remember the verses. For some of them you might remember the verses, but generally speaking, we remember the structure of the song, and that's what we're used to singing, what we're used to hearing. And we don't know how the song was contextualized. And then you happen to hear one of those introductory verses along the way and you go, that makes me think about that song a little differently. That happened to me the other day when I was looking at a particular song, and so it made me want to share this with you. The song itself, I won't sing it because I don't want Facebook to shut me down for copyright issues, but I'll speak it. So the song, and it's an old-fashioned but pretty well-known song, Make Someone Happy. Make just one someone happy. Make just one heart the heart you sing to. So, and it goes on from there. So it's a pretty well, and it seems like a fairly simple idea. Just make someone happy, make them laugh, and it goes on in that vein, and it's sweet, and it's, it is what it is. The introductory verse to that is this. Listen up. The sound of applause is delicious. It's a thrill to have the world at your feet. The praise of the crowd, it's exciting, but I've learned that's not what makes a life complete. There's one thing you can do for the rest of your days that's worth more than applause. The screaming crowd, the bouquets. Make someone happy. Make just one someone happy. Make just one heart the heart you sing to. One smile that cheers you, one face that lights when it nears you. One man you're everything to. Oh dear. Anyway, I won't read any more. But you get the idea. What I found really interesting about that is that the song itself feels like a bit pat, a bit saccharine, a bit like, oh, isn't it sweet? But contextualized that way, as if it's someone who's a theater person who's used to applause but has realized that's not enough. You want more out of life. You want to bring happiness to one individual and make that one person smile rather than walking out on the stage and getting grand applause from everyone out there. For me, that suddenly contextualized the lyric of the song tremendously. It made me think about the lyric of the song very, very differently. And if, for instance, I were going to choose to sing that song in a cabaret act as a standalone piece, I would absolutely sing that song because I think it would very much change how I interpreted the lyric. So that's just one example. Someday I'll do a vlog where I give you tons and tons of examples, but you get the idea. So I would encourage people, when you're sitting down to write a song, think about the value of writing 4 or 8 or however many you think you need lines in a very, very different musical style. They tend to be very rubato with just sort of, follow the voice with just some simple chords underneath and not a lot of rhythm. Your song hasn't kicked in yet, but you can accomplish a great deal to transition us from dialogue into music and to contextualize the lyric so that once we get to it, we are coming at it with a frame of mind, a frame of reference, that so that we understand so much more the theme that we are about to get through the lyric. So just a thought there today. Make someone happy. Make just one someone happy. Make just one heart the heart you sing to. But once again, let me just read that introductory verse. The sound of applause is delicious. It's a thrill to have the world at your feet. The praise of the crowd, it's exciting, but I've learned that's not what makes a life complete. There's one thing you can do for the rest of your days that's worth more than applause, the screaming crowd, the bouquets. Make someone happy. So thanks for making me happy by joining me in my vlog today, and I'll catch you the next time around. Thanks, and toodaloo.